So some of you guys have been saying something very interesting, so I want to talk a little bit about this process and whether it makes sense or not. Some of you may not know what I'm talking about, but it could be possible to farm Shimmer records for the time being, and the way that you can do it is to then fuse extra copies of Gab. But obviously there are some catches to it, right? So by fusing more copies of Gabrielle, you can then fodder that extra copy in the Echo Shop for that special currency, and that way you can use it to translate directly into individual Shimmer records, which is possible moving into the future where Gabrielle becomes part of the Echo and no longer a fusible Esper. I do feel like this is possible for the mere fact that Gabrielle is no longer fusible but summonable. So one of the main requirements for, you know what, let me just show you what I'm talking about. So now that we are in the Echo and we go to the disassembly shop, right, or is it called Divine Sequencer? Over here, what you notice is that on the top, there is this currency over here, obtained from disassembling rare and above Espers, used to redeem items from a Divine Sequencer shop. But there is also the red currency here, which is obtained from disassembling legendary Espers, used to redeem superior items from the Divine Sequencer shop. And currently, there is only one purpose for it, which is one single legendary is going to return you 50 of this currency so that you can translate one for one a Shimmer record. But the main catch to this is you cannot disassemble Espers obtained from the Esper fusion, which I'm not very sure whether would Gabrielle then be considered part of the Esper fusion, even though she will no longer be part of the Esper fusion. So I do feel like moving forward, it will be incredibly unfair that people who draw extra copies of Gabrielle, like let's say someone who just started the game in like maybe in 1 month's time, and after a period of time they finally got an R6 Gabrielle and they get an extra copy of Gabrielle and they're not able to use it over here. I feel like that is quite unfair. So I do suspect that it is possible to put Gabrielle into a Divine Sequencer so that you can get some of those, whatever currency this is called. Now we need to talk a little bit more about, is it really worth it to fuse a Gabrielle copy just so that you can get an extra Shimmer record? So over here at the Esper fusion, we can fuse our Gabrielle and the requirements are quite simple, but it does require some resources. So firstly, we need a Fabrice at Ascension 5, which is a level 40 Fabrice, and apart from that, we need 3 other Ascension 5 Espers as well. So in total, we need 4 fodder, all at Ascension 5 and level 40 minimally. So the question is it really worth it to use this process, right, this potential loophole to farm Shimmer records? I would think probably not, because the amount of resources you need to even fuse your first copy of Gabrielle is quite a lot. So I think on average it took me about 1 full day's worth of grind just to get a single Gabrielle copy, which includes farming the Fabrice copies as well. Which means that on average, it does take us at least 1000 Nexus Crystals worth of refills, worth of, you know, investing time and all that, just to get an additional copy of Gabrielle. So it's not as if she's cheap over here, right? But on the other hand, we do know that the game itself values Shimmer records at 1000 Nexus Crystals, which is what you can buy off from the Greywater black market. So in the long run, you are still going to be able to buy those Shimmer records directly from some of the shops in the future. So I don't necessarily feel like Gabrielle is that worth it. Although if it is possible, this would be the fast track way for you to get more Shimmer records so that you can hit your Shimmer PT a little bit sooner. It is true, but in terms of value, I don't really feel like it's going to be that game breaking. I don't think it's going to matter too much to a lot of people. Eventually, if you save that Nexus Crystals anyway, you are still going to be able to buy the Shimmer record directly. And it's not as if by using the 1000 Nexus Crystals, you are going to gain some extra value. It is not true. You're not going to be gaining relics through this process because you're just leveling up Espers and then using those Espers as part of the fusion. And it's not as if you're going to hoard up on a lot of Ascension materials as well, because you are still going to put those Ascension materials into Gabrielle and into Fabrice and into the materials required as well. So all in all, I think it's like a net zero. So that's my take on this. I don't really feel like it's going to matter too much. I don't think this is not something I want to risk as well, because for all we know, they may just prevent Gabrielle from being dismantled in the disassembly shop. So it's a risk that I'm not willing to take right now. Anyway, that's my take on this whole matter. Let me know if you still want to continue fusing more copies of Gabrielle. But anyway, hope you guys enjoyed today's content. If you did, don't forget to give a thumbs up. It really helps the channel, and subscribe for more Dislyte content. Now with that said, it has been Free to Play. And as always, I will see you in the next video.